Welcome to the Enterprise Thought Leadership Podcast, where we explore the latest in enterprise trends, tech, and strategy with the top leaders shaping the future.
Hi, welcome to a podcast on stage with Enterprise Thought Leaders. My name is Apurva Kasam and I'm the Associate Editor of Enterprise Talk, an enterprise technology publication. We have engaging conversations with global thought leaders and industry experts, reaching over 1.3 million business leaders worldwide. So today's conversation is an exciting one because we're diving into one of the most significant shifts happening in marketing and search right now, and that is AI-driven visibility. So tools like ChatGPT, Gemini have been integral to more than half of US consumers, and this means the way brands are discovered is changing rapidly. What's interesting is that most AI citations, nearly 86%, actually come from sources that brands actually manage. To help us understand AI visibility and its importance for brands, we have Christian J. Ward, Executive Vice President and Chief Data Officer at Yext. He has served as Chief Data Officer at Source Media, Chief Data Officer of Infogroup, and Global Head of Content Innovation at Thomson Reuters, among the others. He has been quoted in publications like the Wall Street Journal, Forbes, Fortune, Geomarketing, and Search Engine Journal, and he speaks frequently on data strategy, partnerships, and the future influence of data. Welcome, Christian. It's great to have you. Have I missed
Thank you.
something?
No, that's already too much, but it's very nice to meet you.
Great. So let me start with the headline finding from Yext research, Christian. It stated that 86% of AI citations come from sources that brands already control, like website, listings, and reviews. For someone who may not be familiar with AI citations or AI visibility, could you help us understand what this really is and why is it important for brands?
Sure. So again, thank you for having me. One of the most important things to think about with AI is where is the AI sourcing the data? So if you're a business, you want to make sure that when a customer on their journey asks a question of AI, just like with classic search, you want to understand what is the AI looking at? And one of the great things about AI is that most of the platforms have embedded citations as their strategy. So if trust is the most important thing when it comes to AI, because if the human doesn't trust the AI, they're not going to use it. If trust is the most important thing, think of citations as the receipts. They are basically the proof that the AI is bringing to the discussion to say, this is where I found this information. Now, when that happens, you can actually get those citations when you use these models at scale to get a sense as a brand, let's say a global brand or even a small business with one location. You can start to understand, why am I showing up? How am I showing up? And what are the sources that it uses? And so citations are sort of the absolute focus for a lot of research, because if you're not showing up in those sources, you're not showing up in the AI.
That's quite interesting, actually. I'm not an AI expert here, but it's good to know that AI visibility isn't some mysterious concept. Now, I'm very much curious to know how AI visibility actually works in practice, Christian.
Sure. So when you think about different models and the way that they operate, there's lots of ways humans interact with the AI. Many are using it in their desktop, but as you've probably seen, you can launch it on your phone, you can talk to it. In that process, there's always sort of a log of what was being discussed. And in there, there's usually either links or tables of information for those citations we were talking about. So brand visibility, when we talk about visibility in general, in classic search, we've probably got 20 years of people understanding what their rank is and where they show up. But in AI, it's much more complex because we're having this fragmentation where in Google, I mean, I don't know if everyone on this podcast will remember, but we used to have Google and Yahoo and Alta Vista and all these other search engines. That kind of all went away with Google at the center. But now we're seeing that fragmentation again. So for a brand, I want to know how I show up in Gemini. I want to know how I show up in ChatGPT with OpenAI, Claude, Perplexity. There's more and more models, and they all have different approaches to how and what they cite. So for a brand, the best thing they can do is say, listen, I want to know for this topic, let's say the sushi restaurant. I want to know, how am I showing up? Who's showing up next to me? And what sources are being cited? That's different in many ways than classic rank analysis that you get from companies that do keywords and that sort of. This isn't a keyword world anymore. This is a full dialogue and what was cited and why. And so for most businesses, They want to see a platform that can sort of track that over time. And then how platforms track that is very different one platform to the next. But visibility, I would argue, is the new metric that everyone is aligning towards, because you're not going to have the same traffic like you used to your website. A lot of the funnel is moving, the top and the middle at least, is moving into these AI systems, particularly for more complex purchases or customer journeys. And so that's the whole focus of what brand visibility is about.
And another question is, will traditional brand level visibility be as important as AI visibility later in future or now?
I think so. I think realistically, when we talk about it, I know there's two worlds right now. We sort of have this world of classic search, and then we have this world of AI search. I don't think it's going to be that way for very long. Those are going to merge. It's just going to be search again, right? It's just going to be how things are searched for. When we think about that, in terms of tracking it, that means that those metrics come together. We already can see Google is adding Gemini to a lot of classic searches. So whether people like it or not, we're moving into that world where it's all about visibility. And I actually think that's good. I think to some extent, marketers in general have gotten very confident and comfortable on what a Google search will return and sort of the process. But in that process, there's been a lot of surveillance and tracking, things that I don't think necessarily are necessary from the customer's perspective. So AI is going to present this fragmentation where a customer might speak in their car to their AI. That'll be one model. They might use their watch to speak to another model. This is going to keep evolving. And for marketers, I think they should look at that as a new opportunity that channels are opening up, where it's not just display ads anymore. It's a lot about all of your knowledge and your information available to the AI, helping the customer on their journey without all the surveillance and cookie tracking. So again, it'll be uncomfortable for some marketers because they're very used to having these metrics every morning. But I think what it offers is a better fair value exchange between the consumer seeking information and knowledge and what paid media and organic can get you in the past. So it's going to be a change, but I think overall it's going to be a very positive one.
So as you said, it's going to be a very positive change for marketers. Now, whether it's SEO, local discovery, or how brands structure the data, how do you see these insights shaping the way CMOs plan and execute their digital strategies moving forward, Christian?
Yeah, it's a great question. So this actually ties a lot to the research we did. So we did research. We launched a report about a month ago where we analyzed roughly 7 million citations. And that was across 1.6 million questions or queries. And we did it by model. So we looked at OpenAI, Google's Gemini, and Perplexity. And when we did that, what really sort of jumped out at us is that it wasn't really what a lot of other people were saying on how, for example, you're asking, what do CMOs do? And to all the CMOs out there, I'm sure all of you have already had the emergency Reddit meeting where you're trying to figure out how to rank it using Reddit. That, as it turns out, I think is very, very biased to one way of thinking about this, which is most consumers are not asking brand level questions. What most consumers are doing is they enable via their AI, the AI knows where they are. So if I say food or dinner, the AI is not looking at your brand Reddit page for that, right? It's looking at local directories, your website, your locations. Location is so critical of a filtering in the actual customer journey. We know Google uses it for classic search. AI uses it as well. In fact, you can, unless you turn it off, location is taken into account for every AI query. And so that process changed what our results showed. Out of, you mentioned it earlier, 80-something% of all citations for a local based analysis, and we did it all over the world, were websites, your own website. So that's how marketers have to think. I've got to get more of my knowledge on my website in a structured way. And these third-party platforms like Google Business Profiles, MapQuest was really interesting. That showed up all over the world as one of the top citations. And again, I'm not saying that MapQuest or these have to have all your products, goods, and services. They may not even be able to do that. But if your website, if you think of verification of data, it starts with, does the business exist? Like, is there a sushi restaurant near this person? If it exists, verify that it exists. Okay, now move on to the next step. And I say, well, we have some allergies. So do they have an allergy friendly menu? That has to go to the website. And so that's harder to verify. So the harder something is to verify, the more sources and the more data it has to gather. So for CMOs, they really have to think about, yes, your brand is important. And yes, nice photos and colors on your website are important. But what's really important is the structured data that is going to feed into these systems. Because before anyone ever sees your website or the beautiful menu pictures, the AI is going to determine who shows up, and verification of data plus these third-party sources with your website is one of the best things you can do. I'm not saying you shouldn't pay attention to Reddit. I am saying it's nowhere near as cited as people were thinking with these other studies from other vendors, because they didn't take location into account at all. So it's a major, major change in terms of how the research, what it tells us we should focus on.
That's a great perspective, Christian. Now, from what I understand, that it's not just about publishing content anymore. I think it's about making sure AI can trust the information that a brand's website or brand provides online. Another compelling data point in your research was that more than half of US consumers now use AI assistants like ChatGPT and Gemini at least once a week. From Yext research, I found out. And then we know that consumer journey has been centered around search for a very, very long time. Now, with these pointers in mind, what advice would you give CMOs and CIOs to handle this new paradigm?
Yeah, I think interestingly, there's sort of a debate in the SEO community, the classic search engine optimization of, is this just SEO in a new form? Is it different? Look, I think the reality is the strategies that many companies employed with classic search. So structured data, schema markup, pages that are easily crawled and accessible, pages that load fast. Some of those things all still apply in AI. I think one of the big differences that you're going to see with AI, though, is the citation patterns kind of show us, and we're already digging into more research on which page structures do better. And we can see that not only on the corporate brand websites, but on these third parties like directories and listings pages, all that sort of data. So we're analyzing how do you optimize for this? I think there's a lot of people that have a lot of opinions on it yet. It's still early. What we tell all of our clients and all of our CMO relationships is what you were doing by structuring and giving the data to the system is good. There's no loss in that. However, the AI is going to get to answers much faster than classic search. Remember, classic search is built around an advertising model. If you got the answer you were actually looking for in search, they wouldn't have any ads to show you. So the harder it is, in a way, the more ads they can show. That's a very different paradigm than AI dialogue. With dialogue, within 3 or 4 back and forths, I pretty much know the backpack that's right for you. So when you look at that, that is a very different world. So for most marketers, it means that they need to not necessarily worry so much about their messaging and more about the facts and objective data that's going to help the customer get through there. Because remember, you can write all the beautiful copy in the world about your products, goods, and services. The AI isn't showing that. It's telling the story in context with my discussion and what the AI knows about me with memory. So this is a very different thing where, and again, I do think this is a little uncomfortable message. I love your branding and I love your sort of your tagline, but that really doesn't matter to the AI, and it's not going to matter to the customer unless the AI has the data to put your brand in front of them. So this is a rethinking and a sort of almost a reset, which is all the structured knowledge that you've kind of put off in lieu of doing an ad campaign. You got to get that into the AI. And that means synchronizing it everywhere you can and getting it on your own pages as quickly as possible.
Great, that's an excellent advice, Christian. So to go further with that, I would like to know how this AI visibility or how these insights will impact the entire MarTech strategy for brands. Will the MarTech, as we know it, will be anything different in a year's time? Christian, what do you think?
Yeah, it's a great question. So at Yext, we don't really deal with personal data. We only deal with business data in terms of information about a business or a brand. I think the MarTech stack got a little bloated on one side, which is over the last, let's say, 7 years, a lot of people put a ton of money into the de-anonymization, so sort of the CDP or a customer data platform, I think the CRM will survive. I think CDP is going to be much harder. And the reason why I say that is the tracking of humans, the AI is going to stop that. Meaning the AI will know what the human's doing, but you're not going to have that browser compatibility where you can follow someone as they do things around the web. First off, I think that's good. I think we went way too far in surveillance with marketers. I think it's bad for business. Ultimately, if I said to my kids or my grandkids years from now, and they said, "What did you do for a living, Dad?" And I said something like, "Well, I would sort of follow people around and watch what they read, and then I'd see who they talked to, and then I'd go to their house, and then I'd go to their place of work and try and make sure I knew it was them." My grandkids would say I was a stalker. Like, that is a horrible technology. That, I think people got way too deep on. That's going to have to change. The AI side is that the AI represents the human, and you're going to have to build new sort of understanding of what you can know and what you can't know. And that's tough. People are going to have to let go a little bit, which is that MarTech stack is not going to work the same way with AI. And I do think that's a win for consumers, because I think they'll get to answers without being bombarded with things that don't really apply because some surveillance tracking cookie thinks that, you're an avid outdoor lifestyle. Like, that's not helpful. So I think that's one of the goals here. But that's going to change a lot of spend. You'll also see a lot of spend change on the website. The website will still exist, but it's not going to exist in the same design today where it's built for both crawlers and humans. You're going to see a change a little bit where the actual interaction is not a billion pages out there. It might be a billion data points, but it won't quite be the same as it is today.
Great, Christian. I think that is the end of the questions for today. Thank you so much for your insightful conversation. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us for the Enterprise Thought Leadership Podcast. Please do follow us on social media and subscribe for more ideas and insights. Until next time.